multiplication. All right. Multiplying fractions. So we're going to do a little visual representation first. If I said multiply 1/4 by 2/3, if you did it visually, that represents a quarter, right?
Yes.
Because it's 1 is shaded of the 4 possible shades. So there's my 1/4 times. And 2/3 would have 2 of the thirds. Oh, I should have drawn them horizontally. Draw it horizontally if you haven't already done that. Okay. If you take those and you overlap them, which is essentially what you're doing when you multiply, that's this one. And then I add in where do they overlap? What squares? Yeah. This column, which is this, and then the first two. So really, that's the overlap, right? Does everybody see that? What does that fraction represent? What does the pink represent? 2 out of 12. There's 4 times 3. There's 12 squares total. So that's 2 of the 12. But what do you always do with your fractions? You simplify. So that would be 1/6. Now, obviously, I don't expect you to do that every time. Nobody does that. Okay? But that's essentially the visual representation of a multiplication. You're just taking one fraction, you're overlaying it on the other fraction. Where they overlap, that is your answer, essentially. So what is the actual thing that you would do when you're multiplying? You just multiply the tops together and then the bottoms together. You don't need a common denominator. So you're literally going to go, I'll just say reality. You're going to go 1/4 times 2/3. Just go straight across that and that. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 3 is 12. And what do you always do with all your fractions? Simplify them down. They're both divisible by 2 if you want to, which gives me 1/6, same as this one. Yes. You're ahead of me. You can. Yes. You always probably need a new teacher. That is correct. And I'll show you that in a sec. All right. Let's do another example. There's our first. Remember I tell you, the dot means multiply, right?
Yes.
So So what do I do? There you go. Straight across the top. Just don't forget the negative. Negative 1 times 2 is? Negative 2. 9 times 3 is? 27. Can you simplify negative 2 over 27 or 2 over 27? You cannot, and that is your answer. All right. Like our friend Izzy said, what if you have something like this? Seven times 10 times 2 over 21. Now, if you just look at that right away, you don't even have to think when you do well, I guess you have to think, but you don't have to make a common denominator. You could just go straight across and go 7 times 2 is 14. 10 times 21 is 210. What goes into 14 and 210? Sorry? I can't hear you. 2? You can do 2. So if we did 2, we're going to get 7 over 105. Can you go any further? You can divide them both by 7. You could divide by 7 and get 1 over 15. That is a totally legitimate way to do it. You will get full marks if you do it that way on a test. However, there's a faster way to do it. If we go back to the original, which I'll write in green. What you're actually doing, I mean, we just don't write it, is it's like this. 7 times 2, and you don't have to write this. That's sort of the intermediate step. You put them all in one fraction, all right? In which case, you can simplify things that are common. If I wrote, so basically, this 2 over 10. What goes into 2 and what goes into 10? 2 goes into both of them. So that could be written as like 1/5. What goes into 7? What goes into 21? So 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 into 21 is 3. How do you multiply those? Same way we did everything else. It's right across the top, right? So you can literally just go 1 times 1, 5 times 3 is 1 over 15. And you don't have to show this step right here. What you can do is over here is I can go, do it in pink. 7 goes into 7 1 time. 7 goes into 21 3 times. 2 goes into 2 1 time. And 2 goes into 10 5 times. So there's my 1/5 times 1/3, which is this bit right here, to get 1 over 15. Okay? You don't have to do this, but what it'll do is it'll get you the lowest terms without doing this stuff. So it gets you there a little faster. I don't care which way you do it. All right? Let's do one more of those types. So let's do 5 over 2 times 36 over 55. What numbers do you see that you think you'd want to pair up between the numerator and the denominator? 5 and 55, right? Okay. So what goes into 5 and 55? What can you divide each by? Each of them by, I guess is what I'm trying to say. 5 goes into both, right? So I could divide that by 5, which gives me 1. Divide this by 5, which gives me 11. What about 36 and 2? 18. So divide by 2. 36 divided by 2 is 18. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So really what you're multiplying is 1 over 1 times 18 over 11, which is just 18 over 11, right? Because 1 times 1 is 18. 1 times 11 is 11. Is that okay? What if you have mixed numbers? What should you always do if you have mixed numbers? Convert to improper fractions before you do anything. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1, that's 7 over 3 times 9 over 5. How do you multiply? Seven times 9 is 63. 3 times 15, or 3 times 5 is 15. Is there anything that goes into both of those? 3 goes into both of those. 21 over 5. Questions? Do we feel okay about that? All right.